What's going on, everybody? Hair here, and yes, here we are. We're back. We're here for UFC Mexico. Just coming off UFC 298, which was a pretty great card. Now UFC Mexico 1 week later, and yeah, we're here. It should be a fun, fantastic night of fights. Let's get straight to it. One of the top 3 fights that we're going to see is fan favorite Raul Rosas Jr. against Ricky Turcios. Raul's been just a staple in the UFC ever since he turned 18. One of the youngest UFC fighters, and just scrappy. He's a scrappy guy. He's a minimal favorite right now, fighting Ricky Turcios. Should be a tough matchup, and every matchup for him is tough because he's so young. But I'm glad they're not feeding him to the wolves. They need to keep building him up because he is a fan favorite. He's making a name for himself. Like I said, one of the youngest UFC fighters right now signed, and they just need to keep doing this, keep letting him gradually get up. No need to feed him to world beaters yet, but it is definitely it's going to be a task for sure, and an opportunity for Ricky. So if he can knock off this, this popular guy and Raul, and knock him off, make a name for himself, sure, great. But even though Dana White says there's no tune-up fights in the UFC, this is one for him, for Raul. Your co-main event, this is my favorite fight on the card. You're gonna have Yair Rodriguez against Brian Ortega T-City. And this is 2 fan favorites. You have T-City Ortega, who, everybody loves him. I met him. I've said the story plenty of times where me and a buddy of mine, we asked him to take a picture of us. We didn't know who he was. He kindly said yes. His camp almost beat us up, and it is what it is. Been a T-City fan ever since. This was back before he was a, main roster type guy. And he's fighting another fan favorite, Yair Rodriguez, who, man, that guy is... I basically call him Mexican Anderson Silva. He's a monster. He comes from all different angles, super unorthodox, ridiculous if you call it kickboxing, but it's like unorthodox kickboxing. That guy is just a menace. Who do I have winning T-City? If he can take him down, he'll do his best to submit him. Do I think that's going to happen? Unfortunately not. I do think he's on a stand with Yair, and I think Yair is going to piece him up. Brian T-City is hittable, as Yair is also, but Yair is levels above him in striking, in my opinion. Not everybody agrees, but I believe Yair is going to piece him up. If T-City was smart, I think he's going to take him down. What do I know? I'm just a regular casual fan. But I think if he's going to win, better chance for him to win is to take him down, use his epic ground game that he has, his almost flawless ground game that he has, and try to choke out Yair. But if he just stays in a stand-up war with him, which is what the Mexicans love, but I think Yair just pieces him up and busts up his face. Your main event, you have which would be basically a #1 contendership fight, Brandon Moreno against Brandon Royval, again part 2. Moreno's interesting. He's on up and down plenty of times. Been champion, then lost. Been champion, then lost. He reminds me kind of that Brazilian champion who had won. Not Figueiredo. I'm blanking on him right now, but it's all right. Yeah, he's lost fights, but then he's won and he became champion. He's lost. So who do I think is going to win? Royval is a gamer. He's such a gamer. But I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno. He's been there. He's done that. He's been to the dance. He's been champ multiple times. He's been through some crazy wars. And that does wear on you for sure, which is where Royval can come in and just take him out. But again, right now, I'm going to lean towards Brandon Moreno. And I think he just tries to get UFC gold again and, continue on that path. But this UFC Mexico card is a fantastic idea. Great fight, great night of fights. They should all be very entertaining. Can't wait to see it. We will be there. This is the Hair.